Hello,
Okay.
everyone. So I'm going to start by introducing Kendra Lust. She's a wonderful entrepreneur, and she's also started a new podcast that's going to be coming up. And I'm so excited for you guys to hear about it. How are you doing today, Kendra?
I'm doing well. I have a house full of kids right now. I have five kids in the house all running around. Normally they're outside because it's nice here in Michigan. However, we're supposed to get some really bad storms tonight. So
Mhm.
if you hear some background, it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy, but that's okay. I'd rather have them here than everywhere else. So
Yeah.
they're here, but
Yes,
I'm
that's
doing well.
amazing. That's amazing. Wow. No, that's so great. I know with the quarantine, it's been a lot, even for myself,
Mhm.
for everyone. I mean,
Mhm.
how are you dealing with COVID-19? I hear that things are starting to slowly pick back up. What are your odds in terms of that?
It's hard because it seems like there's a lot of people saying one thing and then they're conflicting, you know, uh, e- I guess studies and things like that. Like it doesn't live on virus or it doesn't live on surfaces, and before they were saying it does, and now people are saying we're going to get a second wave, which is going to hit us harder. And I don't know that it's true. I feel like, you take a little bit and kind of use your best judgment based on your personal experience in the, community that you live in and what you're experiencing. So I think it's going to get better. And I think, it has, the curve is flattened. And I think that, we're headed in a more positive direction. So I'm just going to stay positive and stay hopeful that the worst is behind us, and that we're going to get through this. So one day at a time, and just, help, love, protect, take care of each other.
No, absolutely. I mean, I feel the same way. It's really confusing. We're getting these conflicted informations and, the children, it's really hard on them. They
I
want to
know.
go outside. They're used to the outdoors. They want to play. It's really difficult. I feel it's difficult for my daughter because she's like 1 year old
Mm,
and she's like starting to like, she's like, bye bye every day, but she doesn't understand, all
oh,
these things. So I've been very strict about it. I'm not going to lie.
yeah.
I've been a bit strict about it, but now I'm starting to feel as though it's true. I'm trying to use my own judgment, but I wanted to get into fashion. If
Oh
you were
gosh.
to choose, one style particularly that suit Kendra, what would you say
Yeah.
it would be?
It's sad for me to even say this because I feel like I have lived in workout clothes through this whole
Mm-hmm,
quarantine. Like, I mean, to get done up, it's like
mm-hmm,
maybe in the bedroom once in a while,
mm-hmm,
you know?
mm-hmm.
But for me, I would say like when I go out, I like to be sexy, classy. So, show a little bit, not too much,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of how you carry yourself. You can wear something really risque, but
Mm-hmm.
if, you're carrying yourself in a way that is, I don't know, I feel like it's just give them a little bit, but not too much. So
Yeah.
sexy, classy is kind of what I like to go for.
Same here. I really like sex. I like sexy classy, but I mean sexy classy goes with people who actually have like the body for it. So for me,
Yeah.
one big thing I wanted to actually get into with you is that, health and fitness is a big thing I find with you. And,
Yes.
speak to us more about it because you're in such great shape. For me, I just had the baby. I'm like,
Oh.
trying to get back into it, get back to my
Hmm.
size. I find it challenging. It helps me with
Yes.
my mind, my mental health. And it's just, I feel if you have the body, the great body,
Yes.
anything you wear, Kendra, will look amazing on you. You don't have to, sometimes it's like you're wearing the clothes. Anything will look sexy on you if
Aw.
you have the body. So give us
Yeah.
some tips for us ladies.
I really feel like so many people, and I find this, a lot of times where they'll like look up, summer trends for 2020. And it's like, I, I appreciate the compliments, but I know I don't look good in certain things and
Mhm.
I can't pull the trends off. So I feel like it's important for you, whatever kind of body you have, to try to even like go to somebody like a stylist. So
Mhm.
because it's opened my eyes to some things that I might not necessarily wear that, looking at it on the rack, but having somebody kind of put different looks together for you is so important. So I feel like it's cool. You can pull off, a couple trends, but I don't think it's necessary to always go with the trends. I would find what works for you and try to incorporate some of the trends into that. But, you have to kind of choose what type of clothing that fits your body type. And, and I think once you kind of get to know, what looks good on you, then you can kind of go from there, get your base.
Oops, we lost you a little bit there.
And then incorporate some fun to it. I don't find that can pull it all off, and kudos to them. I love that. And I just love that about them because they inspire me. My girlfriend, Colleen, amazing. Like, she gives me chills. She's one of my best friends, and she just looks good in everything. My girlfriend, Jill, everything. They can pull it off. They have just the perfect height, the curve, but not too much. It's just, so.
But you're also great. I mean, do you do some specific workouts? What do you do to stay in shape? Because you're in shape, girl.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. For me, I've always been athletic. So from a young age, I had always, played sports and had always been active. And I do genetically kind of have bigger legs. They're not that big, but when people look at me, they'll be like, I thought you were taller. I thought the camera really does add 10 pounds. But I've always just kind of been athletic, played sports. So I think it's important for women. I think there's a misconception with exercise and working out that lifting weights will bulk you up. And that's just not possible. We do not have the enough circulating testosterone or, testosterone in our body for us to build muscles like men. So it is very important for women to lift weights because muscle burns more calories than fat does. So, and you look tinier and more tight and more toned if you have more muscle. Don't worry about the scale. I feel like just let the mirror and how your clothes fit be your guide.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're so focused on the scale. You're absolutely right. Then, lifting, weights, and we have that misconception. Thank you for giving us, those tips. I'm definitely going to incorporate more weights. I haven't been really incorporating a lot of weights as well in my workouts, but, I'm getting there. I actually am very tall as well. So I'm 5'11". I used to play basketball competitively. So it's true. It's in my genes.
Love that.
But, after you have a baby, things change.
And I can relate to that with not getting too in detail, but it does. It definitely does change. Hormones change. Just things just don't bounce back as quickly. But I always, tell like even friends, who have babies, it took 9 months. Okay. Or 40 weeks, actually 10, right? To produce this beautiful being. It is going to take at least that plus a few months to get yourself back. Absolutely. And it may not necessarily be back to what it was, and that's okay. But you can still be healthy and be beautiful and get your body back to, a happy place or, where you're happy. So.
Absolutely. And I just want to talk about the new venture that you're going to be having, this new podcast. What is it going to be? Do you mind sharing with our viewers what you're going to be talking about? I mean, what's this new project? Are we going to get to know who Kendra really is,
Yes. So I am excited. I've been talking about it, and we were supposed to go ahead and have it live, or it was going to go live in May, and then the whole pandemic, and it's kind of been pushed to the back burner, rightfully so, and that's okay. Most important is health and family, and I'm so grateful for that. So it's just given me more time to kind of plan it out. So it's going to be called All In with Kendra. I am going to have a co-host, and I'm not announcing his or her name until it actually goes live. So really excited to be partnering up with this person. I'm going to have this show in Vegas only because I feel it's easier to kind of get people in and out of Vegas, right? It's close to California. I don't know that it's not really close to Florida, but I just feel like it's a good spot. A lot of people visit there and the weather's nice there. And Michigan, okay, let's face it, for me to get people to come to Michigan during the winter is probably going to be pretty hard. So,
Yeah.
so it'll be nice to have like a celebrity guest or just doesn't even have to be a celebrity. It can
Yeah.
just be, somebody who I find interesting and inspiring and
Absolutely.
once a month. And so it'll be once a week. We'll have shows and then like a surprise guest once a month. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And in Vegas, I mean, everybody goes there. We're from Canada and we're like, everybody's always going to Vegas. So I'm sure you're
Yeah.
going to have a lot of people, a lot of interesting guests, and we're super excited for it. So I'm
Thank
just
you.
wondering, in terms of the podcast, I mean,
Oh,
you're going to be going, how far is Michigan from Vegas?
okay, so it is about a 4.5 hour flight. So it's a little bit of a ways, maybe even 5. I haven't taken it in a little while, but I'm flying out next week to kind of get some things organized. So I'm excited about that. The podcast, I didn't really even touch about what it's going to be on. It's just going to be a little bit about everything. It's not geared towards adult or fitness. It's going to be, we're going to talk about everything. So I guess it'll be just like a different side of me. I think
Yeah.
people, when they, I guess they hear that, you do adult and I'm not really doing much of it anymore. They
Yeah.
have a negative perception of you. And that's okay. Like people are entitled to their opinions. And
Yeah.
I would think of me as really none of my business. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, I think that's a Dr. Seuss quote.
Yeah.
But I just, for me, you know, I guess people view me one way, and not that I have anything to prove, but that's one side of me. So it'll just be another side of me, and I want to kind of humanize what we do and let society know that it's an art. It is not who we are, and what I define doesn't or what I do does not define who I am. So just I don't know, just normal me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you've touched on important points. Life is about, I find that even with myself, with everybody, I find the world is just judgmental, period,
Yes.
and they're not
Yeah.
open and they don't understand. It is an art, it is an entertainment. A lot of people do a lot of things for entertainment. You look at
Mm-hmm.
the, music industry, you look at the
Yes.
athletes as well. There's a lot of things that people think, are true. And sometimes what you put out there, they don't get to know who. Even me myself, I find the podcast is a great outlet for me, and the reason
Yes.
why is for people to get to know my personality. And people want to have misconception. They were used to seeing me next to my ex-partner who was a world champion, looking at me like a young girl that's like a trophy wife, gold digger
Sure.
next to her man. But it's not who I
Right.
am. I am educated. I did study in university. I'm an open personality. I love,
Oh, I
I
love
love
that.
positive energy. I love, talking about great points. I love fashion, and this is a great outlet and a platform. And I really do find, Kendra, it's gonna be great for everybody to get to know who you are,
Thank you.
and get to understand more, your guest and your personality, because you have a beautiful personality, and
Thank
people
you.
judge nowadays.
And they do, and they always will. And
Yeah.
speaking of, that with everything that has been going on with this pandemic and what has recently happened with the protesting and all those things, and it's just, it's really unfortunate, and it's just, it makes me sad because I still do have so much faith in humanity, and I know that there's more positive out in the world than negative. And I feel people who are negative, or I don't want to say, but yeah, they're not educated, or they're ignorant, and they see one way, and that's sad for them. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but we are all human. We
Mhm.
are all brothers and sisters, and that's how I feel. And it is our job to love one another, support one another, and we don't always have to agree. It's okay. We can agree to disagree. But when violence and hate like that is just, it's not necessary. So it makes me sad, but I know there's more good in this world than not good or negative. So that keeps me going. And, I just try to be kind, and
Yeah. Same.
it's the
I
best
try to
way.
be kind too. We've all gone through a lot of things, I'm sure. And, a lot of people who are successful go through a lot of things. And, if you continue to live your life for what other people, you know, perceive it to be, then you're going to be a miserable person. And it's hard sometimes, we're human beings, and, I've always been an open personality, when it comes to myself and being open and showing love. And sometimes when people are very hateful, sometimes you want to, you sort of try to end up being that, but it's not you. So
Yes.
it's important to not change, because like you do say,
Yes.
there are good people here, in this world, and that want to do good. And, I'm looking forward to your podcast. I'm definitely going to
Thank
support.
you.
I'm going to be watching.
Thank you.
And I wanted to play a little questionnaire with you.
Let's do it.
Ask you just a few questions, just for people to get to know you better. And
Sure.
I just wanted to say, if you were, yeah.
All right, my dog behind me, she's like asleep. Come here, baby. Come here. You want to say hi?
Hi.
It's you, girl. She's just laying on my bed. I said, oh, I'll never have my dog on my bed. You're right.
What's her name?
Her name is Roxy. And
Roxy?
she's okay. And I'm not one of those people, oh, I have a rescue, but she is a rescue. I feel like she's so sweet. The sweetest pit bull ever. Well, she's like a mix, but they're the best. Yeah, she's a good girl. Okay, so back to your question. I just felt so bad. She's like laying there like a dead dog.
It's okay. So would you rather be feared or loved by all?
Oh, loved by all. I don't want people to fear me. That would make me sad.
I don't know. Some people do say fear. And you know why they say fear? Because, they're, they wanted at some point to be loved by all. Because, even me, I feel as though I wanted to be loved at a certain point so much from everybody.
Yes.
But I'm feeling as though more that I grow, I want to be feared, in the sense that fearless in what I do when it comes to success.
I like that. So I can respect that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and not care what people.
Well, yeah, right. That's true. Okay, so if you put it like that, yes, because I know people are not always going to love you. They're always going to have something, and it's just like, what are you going to do? I can't please everybody. Okay, I'm only one person.
Exactly. We can't. And would you rather, this is a weird question, but, we'll ask, would you rather never get angry or never be envious?
That's a tough one. I feel like being envious sometimes, I think it's human and it's normal, to acknowledge its self-awareness, but sometimes that makes you strive for more. So I think sometimes that's a motivating thing, and it's not necessarily a negative thing. Mm-hmm. And I think anger comes from a place, sometimes when you're angry, then obviously you have to be passionate about something for you to feel that way. So oh my God, I don't know. I'm bad. I'm overanalyzing the questions, which I do.
So well.
Even on test taking, I remember in nursing school, I'm like, okay, do I, anyway, but luckily I passed. So yeah, I guess I don't want to be angry though. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be angry. Angry is just, it takes so much out of you, I feel. So no anger for me.
Okay. Perfect. So would you rather work very hard at a rewarding job, or hardly have to work at a job that isn't rewarding?
No, I'd rather work hard at a job that is rewarding. I feel like that the journey is part of the reward, and if you already enjoy what you do, so yeah, definitely.
And would you rather be famous when you are alive, or forgotten when you die, or unknown when you are alive, but famous after you die? This is
I don't necessarily need recognition, so I'm okay. If I'm unknown while alive, I think the first few years of my career, my thinking was completely wrong. But it wasn't. I knew I needed to make a name, and I knew I needed people to know who I was. So I was so driven to get my name out there and network and do all these things, because I knew that I could not succeed, so I was so driven for that. However, when you reach a point where you know who you are and you've reached the success that you're content with, it's not like as meaningful. Like, I don't know. Then I feel like sometimes then, people want to bring you down, and that's heavy, and I'm okay with, like, I'm to the point now, like, where I don't want to be recognized. I don't answer the door for deliveries. I don't, because I don't want that, for my family. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. And would you want to be known a legend when you die?
Yeah, I would be good with that.
Yeah,
but I would be good with that. I would want, that would be really cool, because I have worked really hard at what I've
absolutely
done, and hopefully, like, that the words or the things that are said, not so much about fame, but just like the type of person I was, a kind, generous, like those are important characteristics, or personality traits that I want people to remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel as though people realize who people are when they pass away. They realize how good of a person they were. And unfortunately, people need to pass for them to say that they were a good person.
I know. And sometimes the opposite, I hate to say that, but that's pretty deep. Yeah. But I'm glad you asked it. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, Kendra, you were so great at this questionnaire, and
thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to spend, on the Sisi God podcast, and yes. We're definitely going to follow through. Is there anything else you would want to share with our viewers, or you would want to share? And we're here.
Sure. I mean, at this point, I don't really want to share too much about where they can find me. I think people know all that stuff. I'm hopeful that we have, the rest of 2020 is much better than it has been. And just to be kind to one another, love one another, take a deep breath, and just be grateful. So yeah, that's it. And thank you for having me. I'm so honored that you asked me, from one smart and, successful woman to another. It's an honor. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Kendra. And we will definitely follow your Instagram.
Thank you.
Follow you with your podcast. And, we'll be on the lookout for any other projects that you have on the way. We can't hear for everything that you have in store. And, I wish you the best. And I'm sending you lots of love, your way.
Thank you so much. Right back at you, all the way in Canada, which isn't too far really from me. So
well, let me know if you're in Canada.
Right? Oh, I absolutely will. I will.
Good. After this, the borders right now are very close, so it kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
I forgot about that. Yeah. I always feel like Canada is like just part of like America, because we're so close. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Kendra.
Thank you.
Lots of love. Mwah. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. I'll be posting a video every week. Just subscribe in the button below, and you will see a little bell, and it will notify you whenever I have a new episode up. Make sure to also comment and like below in the column. I would love to hear your opinions and any guests you would want me to have on my show. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Love you guys.